At exactly 5:42 p.m. on a rainy Thursday, Natalie Brooks was finishing the final review of a nationwide logistics update inside the headquarters of Northbridge Freight Systems when a furious voice echoed through the operations floor, making every employee stop typing for just a moment. The company's newly appointed Chief Operating Officer, Jason Walker, marched across the office waving a stack of printed reports while loudly blaming his technology team for a delay that had already been corrected, proving once again that he preferred public humiliation over understanding the systems he had been hired to manage. For 16 years, Natalie had quietly designed, expanded, and protected the digital infrastructure that connected warehouses, delivery centers, and customer portals across the country, creating thousands of automation rules that kept millions of shipments moving without interruption. She never cared about recognition because her greatest satisfaction came from watching everything operate flawlessly behind the scenes. Even though most executives assumed the entire platform simply maintained itself without realizing one dedicated engineer had been carrying the responsibility for years. Jason had joined Northbridge only 4 weeks earlier, arriving with expensive suits, polished presentations, and endless speeches about cutting costs, increasing efficiency, and replacing experienced employees with cheaper alternatives before he had even learned how the company's technology actually worked. During leadership meetings, he dismissed technical advice, interrupted senior engineers, and confidently promised the board dramatic improvements, unaware that the complicated network supporting the business was far more delicate than the colorful charts displayed on his presentation slides. Late Friday morning, Jason suddenly stopped in front of Natalie's workstation, slammed several outdated incident reports onto her desk, and demanded an explanation while dozens of employees quietly watched from nearby cubicles, afraid that speaking the truth might make them his next target. Natalie calmly pointed to the official maintenance records showing that the reported issue had been identified, documented, tested, and permanently resolved the previous evening, but Jason refused to read a single page before loudly announcing that her services were no longer needed at Northbridge.
Without arguing or raising her voice, Natalie slowly closed every application on her computer, organized her documentation, packed away her personal notebooks filled with years of handwritten system diagrams, and activated a routine administrative transition protocol that automatically protected sensitive automation features whenever primary ownership changed. She handed her employee badge to Megan Collins from Human Resources with a polite smile, thanked Sophia Turner at the front desk for always being kind to everyone, and quietly walked out of the building knowing that respect could never be replaced by fear, no matter how powerful Jason believed himself to be. The next morning, Natalie switched off her work phone, ignored every unread notification, and drove to a peaceful lakeside nature reserve where she spent the day hiking through pine-covered trails, enjoying the rare freedom of living without emergency calls or endless system alerts. Back at Northbridge Freight Systems, small but unusual problems quietly began appearing across the company's network as shipment records refreshed several hours late. Warehouse inventory totals stopped matching reality, and customer tracking pages displayed outdated information, even though every server appeared to be running normally. By Monday morning, the confusion had spread to distribution centers across multiple states, leaving managers frustrated as delivery schedules became unreliable and inventory reports contradicted one another despite repeated attempts to restart the affected services. Jason stormed into the emergency operations room demanding immediate answers, ordering every engineer to reboot databases, clear caches, and reinstall monitoring tools without first taking the time to understand what had actually caused the disruption. Among the overwhelmed engineers was Tyler Reed, a talented junior developer who remembered spending countless evenings learning directly from Natalie, carefully watching her document every system dependency because she always believed knowledge should be shared instead of hidden. While reviewing thousands of configuration files, Tyler noticed that several critical automation services were waiting for a secure administrative verification sequence that nobody on the remaining team knew how to provide, making the system appear healthy while silently refusing to process sensitive updates. As the hours passed, customer complaints flooded the support center, premium clients demanded emergency conference calls, and the finance department warned that delayed shipments were beginning to cost the company millions in canceled orders and damaged business relationships. During an emergency board meeting, David Sullivan, the finance director, presented alarming financial projections, while Michael Grant, the chairman of the board, quietly asked a simple question that instantly silenced the room. Who was responsible for designing this entire logistics platform? The room fell completely silent before Emma Lawson, the operations manager, finally admitted that nearly every major automation process had originally been created and maintained by Natalie Brooks, whose experience had been overlooked because everything had worked so reliably for so many years. Instead of accepting responsibility, Jason insisted the problems would disappear without outside help. But the worried expressions around the conference table made it clear that the leadership team was beginning to realize the company's greatest mistake had not been a technical failure. It had been forcing away the one person who truly understood the heart of their entire operation. By Tuesday morning, Northbridge Freight Systems was facing its worst operational crisis in company history, as delayed deliveries, incorrect inventory records, and mounting customer complaints spread across the country, forcing executives into back-to-back emergency meetings that produced far more panic than progress. While Jason Walker continued blaming software vendors and network providers, Michael Grant quietly instructed an independent technical review, hoping that fresh eyes could uncover what the exhausted leadership team had failed to see. The independent consultants carefully examined the company's architecture and quickly discovered that the platform itself had not failed, but was instead waiting for a secure administrative verification process designed to protect critical automation features from unauthorized changes after leadership transitions. When Tyler Reed explained that Natalie had always emphasized building systems that prioritize safety over convenience, the room finally understood that the safeguard was never meant to punish anyone. It existed to prevent careless decisions from damaging the company's most valuable technology. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Michael Grant personally contacted Natalie Brooks with a respectful message, sincerely apologizing for the way she had been treated and asking whether she would be willing to meet with the board to discuss a responsible solution. After taking time to think, Natalie agreed to a conversation on one condition. Every discussion would focus on rebuilding trust, respecting technical expertise, and creating a healthier workplace where experienced employees were valued instead of intimidated. During the meeting, Natalie calmly explained every recovery step, provided complete documentation, and patiently guided the engineering team through restoring the protected automation services, allowing shipments, inventory systems, and customer updates to return to normal over the following days. The board recognized that leadership is measured by humility and accountability rather than loud speeches. Jason Walker resigned after losing the confidence of both executives and employees, and Northbridge began rebuilding its culture around teamwork, transparency, and professional respect. Months later, Natalie accepted a senior leadership role at another technology company where her knowledge and dedication were appreciated from the very beginning. While Northbridge slowly rebuilt its reputation, after learning that the strongest businesses are supported by people whose quiet work often goes unnoticed until it disappears. Please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.